Hey, man, how you doing?
Hello, I am doing fantastic, my fine
Oh,
friend.
awesome. Awesome. I'm really excited because I've been getting, we've been getting our mailbag, the Speaking Nerdy mailbag. I don't know if you know
Oh,
about
really?
this. Yeah, we have a new
I didn't
mailbag,
didn't realize
and
that.
I've been looking through it all week, and I'm really pumped up with the comments that some of these people made, and some of these people
Cool.
are actually well known, and I'm really psyched. And so,
Okay.
yeah, so this is from the Speaking Nerdy mailbag, and these are comments from reviewers, watchers, and I'm going to have you read the first one, and
Okay.
I'm excited. I
You just gonna put them up on the screen and I'll read them off?
Yeah, if you would.
Okay, great. This sounds fun. Okay.
Yeah.
After watching Speaking Nerdy, I have immediately decided to become Amish Bill Gates.
Isn't that nice? I
Okay.
mean, we've made this man turn his life around. I mean, it's now he's out there, churning butter and free from all devices, which is funny to me because he's like
I'm
the
not.
Windows and
ma-
yeah.
Maybe we should
And
look at
so
another one, Mike.
yeah, the next one here, anyway, I'll let you read it.
Hey guys, I caught your show the other night. Now that I have thought about it, no, I did not invent the internet. Al Gore. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I never thought he did in the first place. So he just I hopefully but
So
yeah.
after watching
Yeah.
our show, he wanted to distance himself from the internet.
I didn't read it that way. I read it that, after he saw it, he then I guess maybe he got
He
I
got a
don't know,
revelation.
got a revelation. I don't know. But
Okay.
this one, man,
Maybe there's
I'm
a different one that's a little more exciting, maybe.
well,
Okay. After careful meditation, I can confidently say that the Spanish Inquisition would be like on holiday compared to watching the Speaking Nerdy show. Pope Francis. Okay.
yeah, I mean, I
nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
exactly. I was going to have that on the soundboard. I didn't have time. But
do we have any of these that are maybe just a little more positive about the show?
Here, this is good. Here we go.
Dear Ricky and Mike, your show is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever seen. At no point in your rambling, incoherent banter was you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone on the internet is now dumber for having listened to you. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your souls. Ken Jennings.
That one kind of slipped in. I wasn't for sure. But we're getting. I guarantee you,
these are quite as as positive as you think they might sound.
No, I mean, really, I mean, we're getting their attention. This one right here is good, and after that, we're having. Here you go.
Since my viewing of your show, I now wake up every middle of the night in cold sweat, screaming, "Please end this nightmare! Oh, please end it now, Chuck Norris."
Yeah, I mean, well, I have one more, and maybe this one,
Chuck Norris.
Listen, maybe this last one, and it's spiritual, and I think it will be uplifting for us and the entire audience. So I'm really encouraged by this.
After watching Mike and Ricky on the Speaking Nerdy show, I rewrote my song "Jesus Take the Wheel" to "Jesus Take the Wheel and Drive Me Off a Cliff, Please." Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, so I thought I would share that. So I'm really, it's good that we're getting good press out there.
It's press.
Yeah,
it is press.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean,
maybe we should start the show.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I'll go ahead and start it.
It's the Speaking Nerdy podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And my good friend and compadre, Mr. Ricky Poe. I didn't even know the Pope watched the internet. I guess he has YouTube. That's awesome.
I guess
Uh,
so. I mean, this Pope does.
yeah. So
So,
yeah. So anyway, so how are you doing, my friend? This
I am
week?
doing quite well, my friend.
Good.
Quite well.
There
And
has
I'm
been,
excited
yeah.
for our show tonight.
I am too. I actually crammed in a couple of days worth of this show we're going to talk about, of the show that we're going to talk about tonight, and I really enjoyed it. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But um, again, a whole week we have a whole lot of uh, nerdy week of the news stuff going on. Really interesting. I'm kind of I didn't know if we want to get started on talking some of these or
Yeah,
not.
let's get into that.
Now,
What do we have?
well, this is interesting, especially for you tech guys out there and ladies. Uh, China bans crypto. Now, if you're not
Oh,
familiar with crypto,
yes.
this is a pretty big deal. A large country like China banning the crypto. It basically dropped the worth of cryptocurrency. Like, I don't know, some with like $40,000 in a lot of different areas.
Yeah, tell me about
Depending
it.
on, yeah. So if you're in crypto or Doge and all that stuff, China Central Bank, they just totally said, nope, it's illegal. Now, go ahead. I think there's a
Yeah.
story behind that. Did you
Yeah,
decide to
well,
invest in some?
I don't have a huge holding, but I do have some, and it definitely took a nosedive last week or
Yeah,
this week.
yeah. Uh, according to notice, Beijing will ban all financial institution payment companies, internet platforms from enabling any cryptocurrency trading. They announced that the announcement said the cryptocurrency tumbling with Bitcoin plunging, and Bitcoin is the big one. This is interesting. Mining rigs and other equipment related to the industry have been popping up more recently to the ban, like on eBay. Now, everyone, if you're a gamer like me and you're having a hard time finding video cards because it's triple the price. Now, there's two things that's going on. Of course, the silicon shortage from the labor supply from the beginning of the pandemic and the natural resources. And then two, the big thing is all the bots that have been buying them up for crypto machines and these
Yeah.
mining machines. And this is how they're using it to, mining for crypto and getting stuff on the dollar. I mean, it's pretty good. Hey, Dan, how you doing, sir? Welcome to the show.
Hey,
Uh,
Dan.
but yeah, so anyway, the crypto with China banning crypto, uh, you can see. Just be warned, because yes, you'll see a drop in graphic cards on eBay, but understand they're going to be from mining machines, and they work 24 hours around the clock. So, and they
So
may
what you're
be.
saying is you might not be interested in that cheap video card
No, I
because
would
it may
wait.
be well
Yeah.
used.
And I still think until 2022, you'll start seeing a drop in video cards, also to obtaining, of course, affecting Xbox and PlayStation. So, yeah, China really took a blow to the cryptocurrency. So we'll see what happens later on that. Hey, coming up is, and I know I've read about this, it's coming up, is the DC fandom, and DC
Yes.
fandom is coming out. And Speaking Nerdy will be covering it. It will be coming out October the 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. It'll run approximately 4 hours. So
Pretty
and
short.
it's short. It's completely free.
All
So
online.
you just Google DC fandom when the time comes. You can actually get on there and they'll send you a notice. So that's not a bad deal. I mean, it was really successful last year. So
Yes, it was. And they had some pretty pretty good announcements last time.
yeah, I'm not for sure what they're going to be going over. I'm sure normally they're going to go over their movies and video games, comics, and all that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that is actually churning behind the scenes. A lot of movies that are coming up. Also, you're a gamer, some really awesome video games that sound like they're coming out in the DC franchise. So I look forward to that.
Yep.
But but the next thing that's coming out, and I really think I'm looking forward to, is going to be Star Wars. I think they're Star Wars. I think it's Star Wars Day, not actually the Fourth be with you, but
No, Disney. Are you
Disney
talking about
Plus.
Star Wars
No,
Day
I'm
or
sorry.
Disney Plus Day?
Yeah.
Yes, Disney Plus Day. I'm super excited about Disney Plus Day. Now, last year, it wasn't really called Disney Plus Day.
Yeah, I don't know what they
They
was a weird name.
well, they
Investors Day or
delayed their
something like
yes,
that? Yeah,
they
okay.
delayed Investors Day until
Yeah.
December last year because of COVID.
Yeah.
So they didn't have their regular Investors Day. So
Okay.
this year they had Investors Day in like June.
Yeah.
And so now they're going to have a Disney Plus Day,
Yeah.
which I have been saying we should expect to see some Disney
Oh,
announcements
definitely.
in this. I've been saying December, but it looks like now it's going to be November 12th.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, they're going to be first to see new content from brands like, of course, Disney, Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars.
Yep.
I'm right now. Disney Plus has a total of 116 million total global subscribers.
It's crazy.
And I'm hoping to hear more about the Book of Boba Fett. And
I would expect us to see a release date.
Yeah,
because so far it just says December.
I'm from the sounds of Boba Fett. Anyway, hey, something that I know you're really excited about, being the great state that we're in.
Oh,
and
no.
I'm so excited. That's right. Tiger King 2. That's right. The train wreck is coming back to a Netflix near you.
Tiger King 2. I'm not sure if stoked is the right.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
Disturbed.
Very disturbing. It will premiere on Netflix, of course, November the 17th. It was announced
I will
during.
definitely be watching.
Oh, I definitely will too. Actually, we canceled our subscription, and my wife doesn't know we're going to end up getting it back just for this great. I told her, I said we have to. I review this stuff, so now.
That's a tax write-off, right?
Oh man, got my LLC going.
So doesn't work.
I get a red flag on that deal because I love America. So I guess Netflix has this global fan event called Tundam. Have you heard of this? Apparently, it's kind of like Netflix version of Disney Plus Day, where they give an entire list of things that they're going to be streaming. I don't have a list on that.
I was not aware of that, but that's
it's like they're talking about The Witcher is supposed to be coming out again and some other stuff.
Netflix has a lot of stuff happening. And,
they really do. Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop is coming out November 19th.
Yeah,
Cowboy Bebop live action, which I'm not even sure about.
Yeah, I have never seen the animation of it before, but after seeing the live action intro, I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. It has this little anime, kind of this retro, kind of spy kind of deal. I don't know. Of course, after
promotional photos I saw didn't sell me on it yet, but they all look super staged.
Yeah,
they don't look like set photos. They don't look like set photos, and they don't look like production stills of the actual show.
They look like
not. Staged photos for a photo shoot. So I can't decide what this show's going to even feel like or look like yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in looking. I'm actually, and if anybody in the audience know where you can watch the animated, the anime a Bebop Cowboy, let me know. I'm not for sure where you can watch that at. I don't know if it's on Netflix. Hopefully it's not on like Funimation or Crunchyroll or something like that. We had that conversation with Robotech. We wanted to do a Robotech show, and then we realized everything's been taken away from all these streaming services. Daryl McCarty, welcome.
Hey, Daryl.
Hey, Daryl. I want to back up a little bit. Hey, Tiger King is coming back, so I wanted to let you know November the 17th, because I know everyone wants to get their their Tiger King stash back. So that's going to be really fun. But yeah, I don't know if Cowboy Bebop is the animated
like Cowboy Bebop. Well, no, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out.
We're trying to find out that we know that the live action is going to be on Netflix, or is on Netflix. I'm not for sure yet when it's going to be, but the anime of Cowboy Bebop. I don't know where I can watch it at or stream it at. So if anybody in the comments know, please let me know, because I'm interested in it. After watching the action trailer, I thought, oh, this is kind of different. I'm hoping to maybe I can catch that. But anyway, and plus, before we again, I need to rewatch the anime. Daryl, do you know where the anime can be streamed at? Let us know, and audience know, because I haven't seen it all. This is the first time I've been acquainted with this title. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Rocket Man. Oh my goodness. Shatner to space. Have you heard about this?
I have. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
He will be
yeah.
the oldest man that goes to space if and when it happens.
Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Shatner has placed on Blue Origin, the very same rocket that Bezos launched into space, and back in July. Do you really want to be taking off on an Amazon rocket? I mean, I don't know.
Man, my Amazon packages get delivered to the wrong house.
Yeah.
Can you just imagine what happens in an Amazon rocket?
Yeah.
Like you're headed just a little jaunt up to
Yeah.
space,
Just a little
and
bit of
you
space.
end up on
Yeah.
Jupiter instead. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And then you get an email where it's the photo in the front porch on the moon. And then you go, I don't
Yes.
live on the moon. Man. Anyway. Yeah. He said he launched, especially they're going to do a film documentary. So they think it's a big reason why Shatner has been chosen to go on the rocket. So that would
Oh,
be
of course.
cool. I would love that. They said, but the whole thing should be expected to only last about 15 minutes. The whole rocket deal, I guess. That kind of concerning to me that it's 15 minutes. That means you fall down fast, or what's
I don't know.
Funimation. Daryl McCarty said that Bebop Cowboy is on Funimation.
Cowboy
And
Bebop is
wow,
going to be on Funimation. Yeah.
yeah, well, I don't why.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah, and
disappointed.
they got Robotech and anything.
I don't know.
Dan is saying apparently it won't be going to space, just the very, very far reaches of our atmosphere. Okay, well
Yeah,
maybe
that's kind of
that's
that
probably what
has
it.
kind
Yeah,
of been the Amazon joke
yeah.
that Bezos went to space. Well,
I'm gonna say
he didn't
Bebop.
really. Yeah, Bebop. I
Yeah,
started to say
why
Bebop,
not? Same thing.
but everybody will come back and say he didn't really go to space. He
Yeah,
didn't really
exactly.
go to space. He
Yeah.
almost went to space, which is kind of where all these ships are going right now, and they're
Yeah,
not
exactly.
quite hitting
Exactly.
space. They're not getting orbit.
Yeah.
So that's a question mark. Is it space or
Yeah.
not? And that's why it's only 15 minutes.
That's right. Hey, next on Nerdy News, this is interesting. At
Oh my
least
goodness. Yes.
Epic versus Apple. And if you're not familiar with Epic, it's a gaming studio, does like Gears of War, but now big in mobile platforms like Fortnite, which my son plays all the time. But what happened is that Apple came after. Epic came after Apple because they saying, "Hey, you're charging 30% of each purchase, and we want it directed to our store so we can make the profit." Well, Apple said, "No way, Jose," and basically bumped them off, bumped them
Yeah.
off their app store. Now, this is the interesting part. They went to court, and the courts did say that yes, Apple should allow um, app people, programmers, to be able to get monetary from their source and location. But this was only after the fact. Where did you see that? Only after the fact, after Epic was banned from the App Store. So
I actually know a little bit about this.
oh yeah, you do? Yeah.
One of the companies that I'm working with right now has an app on the App Store, and you are able to do donations through
Oh,
the
okay.
app.
Okay.
But because of some weird logistical things, the only way they even get away with it is because they're a nonprofit.
Oh, okay. That's
So,
interesting.
but the weird thing is that that it is part of the terms of service that when you buy things
Yeah.
for your iPhone, or you you're not supposed to make money on your app outside of things that are purchased through the App Store. It's part of the terms of
It's part of the
service.
terms and services. Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, Facebook was actually breaking the rules technically.
Oh, Facebook? Or you mean Epic?
I mean, sorry, Epic was
Fortnite. Epic,
Fortnite was what I meant to say.
Anymore, it's all
Fortnite
the same to me.
Was technically breaking the rules.
Yeah. So Epic had to pay $6 million in fines for breaking the contract with Apple because they had a contract with them. So, like you said, they come in with the contract. I think the problem was when they up to 30% of their, cut on their profit. That's when they say, "Whoa!" And so that's why all this litigation and trial stuff was going on. Hey, do we need one again? That's right. A new Mario movie has been cast. That's right.
Oh my goodness. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, why is this happening?
Yes.
That's number one.
That's number one. That's why it should not be made. But it's a voice for animation, I believe. And who's going to play Mario? Chris Pratt.
It's kind of strange, but okay. I mean, are we going to hear Chris Pratt as Chris Pratt? Because every time Chris Pratt plays an animated character, he's Chris
Pratt. I don't know unless Mario no longer
are we going to hear it's me? Is Chris Pratt going to do it's me, Mario?
It sounds like a messed up vampire.
So
no, it's okay. I mean, also, I'm not Anya Taylor-Joy will play Peach, and Charlie Day, of course, from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and Jack Black will be playing Bowser. Believe it or not, Chris Pratt. Yes, Chris Pratt has the moves. That's right. That's our commentator, the Florida man, and he's on the commentation board today. So give him a shout out. And he will be posting your comments and questions today on the show. And also, I don't know if you know Michael Key. He's from Keel and Peele. So, so that's the.
I mean, it's a great voice cast. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is strange.
It's a great sounding voice cast. I'm just not sure that this needs to happen.
Well, I think it was totally geared for of course, the other one was totally geared for for the kids too, but that's scary. But anyhow, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. It was announced during the Nintendo week where, Nakasawi, whatever his name is. I'm sorry, I can't speak. The tallest guy is the mushroom. That's right. Thank you very much. And so that's it. And I think we're going to go into some stupid news. And
all right, let's do it.
Good stupid news.
It's the Weird and Stupid News with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
Man, we have some good stuff tonight, at least in my opinion, some good stuff. You see the smirk on my face, so you know things are going to go really good.
Really good.
Yeah,
I'm guessing bodily fluids. That's my bet.
Give me more credit than that. So anyway, this thing, it couldn't. Let's say this turn of events, Monty Python couldn't written it any better. Apparently, a giant inflatable moon recently tore loose from a Mid-Autumn Festival in China, Henan Province.
A giant moon.
Yes.
Moon.
Yeah.
That's no moon.
That's a space station. That's right. They said he said it flew down the street as official chased it. It's unclear how the moon broke free, but guessing that there were some issues with the cables holding it down. It's unclear how the officials were able to wrangle the loose moon. But also too, but this is not the only incident. South China Morning Post tweeted out another mishap. In this instance, officials confirmed that the problem occurred when they were taking it down from its holding position on a tugboat. That's right.
This is not the first time this moon is on the loose.
That's right. Apparently, one of the cables holding the fake moon in place snapped, allowing the wind to throw it into the river. Thankfully, officials have been able to retrieve the inflatable moon from the river. However, these are now at least the second and third incidents of giant inflatable moons running free from autumn. You think after the third time, you're going, guys, we really need some stronger cables. Thank you,
Oh my
Dan.
goodness.
So the next one here.
What?
And, I'm sorry.
Okay. This must be really good.
Man attempts to cure constipation via an eel in his anus, nearly dies.
Ah.
After an attempt to cure his constipation by inserting a sizable live eel into his anus, a man from Yangqing in the East China Yangtze province has lived to regret it.
I would say so.
Unfortunately for both the eels and the anus alike, this is not an isolated incident. The man, the man had become constipated and ignored usual medical advice on relieving constipation, opting for a folk remedy of ramming an eel. letting things go. Unfortunately, that's nasty. Unfortunately, it's the thing. Fortunately, it's the thing was it traveled up his rectum into the colon and actually bit a hole in the colon wall and made its way to the abdomen. The man was in pain. This is the thing. The man was in pain and he was too shy to see the doctor, according to Global Times. After he attempted to cure, let me see here. Yes. After a day, finally gave in and sought medical help at the local hospital where the doctors told him he could have lost his life. And he didn't. That's a good thing. Unnamed patient was operated on to remove a 20 centimeter, 8-inch eel. Remarkably, the eel had also survived. So eventually the surgeons pulled it out of him. I guess, the lesson about not putting, live eels in your anus, I think was learned the hard way. Anyway, so
I think I'll learn the easy way and just not do it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, now we're going to talk about ladybugs and hey.
Oh, ladybugs are cute.
Yeah, I mean eels, ooh, but ladybugs, that's what I'm saying. So, doctors performing colonoscopy.
Oh my god! Really? The show's kind of full of it tonight.
Doctors performing colonoscopy on a 59-year-old patient was shocked to discover a small ladybug crawling inside his main intestine.
How? I don't understand.
How the insect got inside the man's intestines is one thing, but how on earth does a ladybug make it into the colon alive? While exploring the 59-year-old man's colon and searching of scarring, ulcers, or tumors, they notice a live ladybug crawling on the inside of the man's intestines. The doctor suspects that it may have entered in his mouth while he was sleeping.
And survived?
How it managed to survive, you just said. His digestive system intact. Well, something to do with his preparation for the colonoscopy, they say. The patient was given a cocktail containing polyallyl laxatives, all that to treat his constipation to get ready for the colonoscopy, which doctors believe may have sped up the ladybug's journey through the man's digestive system, saying it safely way through the colon. And interestingly, this wasn't the first time that a live insect was discovered in people's intestines during a colonoscopy.
Why is this not the first time?
Dr. Keith via Twitter, Chow shared several case studies where cockroaches had also been discovered during the colonoscopy. So somehow it sounds way more disturbing than having a ladybug. I actually have the photos of the colonoscopy of the ladybug. Do you want to see it? I have it on here. No,
no, I
no.
do not want to see it.
Okay. Well, in that case,
No.
that is stupid news.
This has been the Weird and Stupid News with your host, Mike Schilling.
Well, that was man, that was
disturbing.
I think that was one of the finest stupid news we have ever done. I think the Florida man probably will agree with that.
I don't know if the finest is the right word, but it was one. It was definitely a stupid news.
Man. Well, I'm going to let you kick it off because tonight we're going to talk about Star Wars Vision that came out last week, if I'm not mistaken, the week before.
Yes, it did. Last Wednesday, a week ago today, Star Wars Visions was released. And if you are not up to speed on what Star Wars Visions is a reimagining of the Star Wars universe through the eyes of some animation studios. 8 different top animation studios from Japan created 9 shorts, all with different feels and flavors, specifically built around the Star Wars universe. They are not canon. No. So if you don't like them, don't worry too much. They are not canon. So, but it was an interesting little experiment. What do you think about it?
I enjoyed it. You know, the thing you have to look at, I know there were some haters out there, and I said, this is just really cool how Star Wars Studios said, hey, let the Japanese studios have some fun with it. What a lot of people don't understand that actually Star Wars and the whole idea of Jedi, George Lucas, some of his inspiration came from old samurai movies.
Absolutely.
Like mainly this director here,
Akira Kurosawa.
Yes, and he ended up one of the main influence movies was called the Hidden Fortress, and you can Google it, Hidden Fortress. There's some really it's kind of weird. They show some types and shadows of the characters in New Hope in this, and so. But anyway, it's very influenced by many of the samurai movies. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, look at the Mandalorian. You know, the Mandalorian is kind of I want to say modern day, but Star Wars version of a samurai, along with your Jedis. And so anyway, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching the Japanese culture in this. I love the art style in some of these. Beautiful. If you really
you said that in an interesting way. You love the art style in some of these, and I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
There are some that are visually stunning.
Beautiful.
There are some that are pretty much just kind of traditional anime. They don't stray too far from the mark.
I mean, it kind of has the Pokemon, Sonic the Hedgehog kind of animation you would see on the TV, which is not bad, but
but there are a couple that are just amazing.
Just stunning. It's something I would watch again. And
I will say there are a couple that I thought the art style was just okay.
But the story was awesome. Yeah.
A couple that there are some, the stories were always kind of interesting. I don't know that all the stories were awesome.
No.
But the stories were really good in general.
Yeah, overall, they really were.
I thought they were. It was interesting because I thought they all felt like Star Wars.
Yeah, it did. It had a feel to it. They took from the theme. Kyber crystals were really big throughout.
Yes.
I mean that's one thing I've noticed. Kyber crystals were main focus, and how it was fascinating. And the color of the saber was really big. It was a really They really
color was a
incorporated
huge
that.
part
Yeah.
of the series,
Not only
especially
that,
in certain
yeah.
episodes.
Yeah, telling of whether you're on the dark or light side of the force. It's interesting.
That was one thing I thought was kind of interesting, that they were very consistent across all 9 episodes.
Yeah.
If you were a bad guy, you had a red lightsaber.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah.
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 If you were going to have a lightsaber and you were a bad guy, you were going to have a red lightsaber. And some of those episodes kind of leaned through that.
Yeah.
Looks like Daryl McCarty said he thought it was great. But
Daryl, let's see. Florida Man, can you put that comment up for us? I don't know if you're hearing us or not, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Daryl, I enjoyed
right
it a
there with
lot.
you.
Yeah, right there with you.
And if you think, is this really something I want to check out? It's only 9 episodes. The longest episode is about 23 minutes. If you wanted to blow through the whole thing, you could probably watch all of it in 3 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took me around 2 hours at least. I mean, it's about 13 to 21 minutes each.
Yeah.
They're self-contained stories. Now, a lot of the self-contained stories are kind of cliffhangers, and you kind of go, man, I want to see the rest of this.
Yes. But should we dive into some of the stories, or do we have some more to talk
one
about?
thing I want to say, is it just me, or they love the catchphrase, I have a bad feeling about this?
They did use that phrase, I think, in every episode.
I almost think that was kind of that must be kind of a joke among the studios. They had to, because every one of them, if I'm not mistaken, has made that comment.
I was trying to figure out, there are definitely a lot of homages to classic Star Wars.
Yeah.
And to some extended universe stuff.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Because there were some things that were in there that they really weren't in the movies. They might have been in one of the shows or something like that. And then there's some things that kind of lean into what they call Star Wars Legends now.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the novelizations that aren't considered canon. But the I have a bad feeling about this, I think, was in every episode. I'd have to go back to make sure.
I would
I
too.
think it was. The other thing I did notice, I think there was only one episode where a lightsaber was not ignited. I only think there was one episode where there was one.
He was Tatooine Rhapsody?
Yes, Tatooine Rhapsody. He was
okay.
holding it and it didn't come on.
Okay. Okay.
And I think it's the only episode where there wasn't a lightsaber that showed up. That actually
exactly.
was lit. So we want to go through some of the episodes.
Let's go through some of them. Yeah, let's go ahead and go through that.
So the first one is called The Duel. Talk about this one real quick.
I'm telling you what, showed this one. Beautiful art style. I think of the entire 9, when it comes to art style, this was beautiful. I mean, I couldn't keep my eyes off of it. It's very, very old style samurai. And look how the colors, I mean, it's stupendous. I mean, I know I'm getting all nerdy and geeky here, but it's such a beautiful art style, and in the story, it's basically, it's this wandering stranger, just like out of the old samurai movies, mysterious man.
And he's even listed as the Ronin, which is a wandering samurai term.
Yeah, exactly. But in this art style, what I think is really funny, not funny, but interesting, is Daryl McCarty says, my favorite episode, the way they used color to show light was amazing. I agree, Daryl, I totally agree. And it was interesting to me because when the Japanese, there's this fine line between, I think they believe there's a fine line between dark and light of the Force, because just like in the samurai type of movies, it was almost like this Clint Eastwood. He comes into town, he he helps the town people come against the
Yeah.
warlord. And at the very end, when he comes against the main Sith warlord, he pulls out his saber, and guess what? It turns red.
And she literally says that you're a Sith. That she
And
thought he was a Jedi, but he isn't.
exactly.
He is a Sith. So and this is a theme that doesn't run through all of the episodes,
No,
but
it doesn't.
there are a couple of episodes where we find a Sith on both sides as the
Yeah,
antagonist
exactly.
and as the protagonist. And I think it's kind of interesting. It's a little bit different feel in Star Wars. Usually our heroes are very heroic. Even our rough around the edges heroes like Han Solo are really
Yeah,
heroic.
exactly. Yeah.
So to have a guy who is considered on the dark side of the Force protecting the innocent is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it very much kind of emulates
Kurosawa.
Kurosawa, his art form.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of my personal favorites, and I think it's because of the art. I mean, the story is. I like the story. It's kind of a trope story, of
it's
coming in the
pretty
town,
straightforward.
Yeah,
stranger comes to town.
Yeah,
town gets
exactly.
attacked. Stranger defends town.
But you know what I noticed in that when he pulled out his the red saber, she made a comment about she called him insulted him as if he portrayed the Sith Sith
I don't remember what she
plan.
said.
Something I can't remember what she said, but I thought it was interesting. Something about you, not you traitor, but you coward.
Yeah,
you coward. And I'm not for sure what that meant, but again, great scene. So
well, and this scene right here where they're fighting with the lightsabers on the log on the river.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched. There's actually, she said she called him a coward. Daryl McCarty says so. There's actually a 7-minute documentary about each one of these episodes where they interview the directors of each episode. So I don't know if you got a chance to watch any of those.
I haven't seen them, but yeah, I saw them on there.
I didn't watch all of them, but I did watch this one, and very specifically, they said this particular lightsaber battle was supposed to be reminiscent of the Mustafar battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Oh, really?
Rather than on a log on a river, you're on a platform on a river of lava.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the feel they were going for in this one. But so shall we move on to the next one?
Let's go ahead on that.
Tatooine Rhapsody. What did you think about this one?
It was a real departure from what I thought we were going to see.
So when I was built up with this one, meaning I read some stuff about it, and it was proclaimed to be a rock opera.
Yeah.
It was not.
It was not.
Daryl McCarty says it was fun.
Yes, it was fun. I agree with that. Yeah,
it is probably the most cartoony of all the. I don't know the most cartoony, but it's kind of the most generic cartoony animation style.
It's the Pokemon type of Sonic animation. I can't pulling from that type of thing, Dragon Ball Z type of animation in a way. It was fun.
We do get to see Mos Espa's the circuit again, where we had pod racing, except this time we have a rock concert.
Exactly.
And the reason I say it's not a rock opera is rock opera implies musical. It implies people breaking into song.
Yeah, exactly.
To further the story and have exposition. In this instance, we just have lots of rock music and we have a band that plays a couple of songs.
Exactly.
But we do get to see a couple of familiar faces.
That's right.
We get to see Jabba the Hutt. Yes. And we get to see Boba Fett. And
that's right.
We actually get the original Boba Fett voice actor coming back to voice Boba Fett again.
Interesting. Yeah.
So it was a fun little episode about. Now this is something that I'll start off with this one.
Yeah.
There's an idea in Star Wars. Well, there's an idea in filmmaking and storytelling called the found family trope. And that runs through a lot of these episodes.
Yes. Yes.
And found family is definitely what this one's all about.
Yeah.
You know, we've got the band that are kind of, you know, they're all completely different, but they've become a family.
Yeah.
And they stand up for each other in the end.
I agree. The backstory is interesting. They do pay homage to the Clone Wars because apparently Jay, who was the young boy, he was a Padawan, escapes in the Clone Wars. So so he escapes, and Yi, who was a Hutt, basically befriend him, and later on they started this band. So, but yeah, it was interesting how some of these series where their reach from which canon of Star Wars. And in this one, they were reaching directly from the very end of the Clone Wars after Order 66. So,
and this is the one that I was saying where we never actually see a lightsaber.
No, not
ignited.
On this one. No.
We do see him holding one. We just don't see him ignite it.
Well, they make a comment in the very end with "Go Save Their Friend." They say, "We're a band. We're a musician. We're a band." And it was almost like, okay, we're not Jedis. We're not this or that. We're a band. We're going to do what we do best, and we're going to play music to save our friend, basically.
Yes.
But I got out of that. So
yeah, I thought it was a nice, sweet little story.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. So then we have the twins.
That was interesting.
Twins was interesting. The twins are a pair. This is supposed to be post episode 9, and a pair of twins are raised on the dark side of the Force. It's a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
And they are serving the Empire.
Yeah.
And they both kind of have a Darth Vader-esque mask and outfit, although they don't apparently need them.
No, yeah. Kind of had me this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it at first I kind of had this feeling like a Luke and Leia on the dark side kind of feel at first.
Very much.
So I kind of wonder if they took a little bit of that aspect and play around with it. I thought it was interesting. They had 2 Star Destroyers connected as one. And I think it kind of symbolized the twins together.
Yes.
Which later on, it gets cut in half because the 2 separates in the fight. Go ahead, and I want you to
lots of symbolism.
A lot of symbolism there.
So we do get a battle between brother and sister. So once again, we have a pair of Sith. One is the antagonist, one is the protagonist. But the reasoning is kind of interesting in that, and some of the we're given some spoiler warning, by the way, if you haven't watched these already. Some of these have, some of these we're going to give a little spoilery. Some of them were not. But this one, the idea that he is trying to save his sister because he saw his sister die.
In a vision,
In a vision, he saw her use the Kyber crystal, and that was the reason she died. And he is trying to save her. So even though he's a Sith, he's trying to save his sister. So he does the opposite of what. So they get into a battle because he's trying to save her life.
Exactly. They want to use it. Almost they want they're wanting to. It's part of this weapon, and they're wanting to destroy this planet. And when she gets ready to, one of her henchmen say someone stole, somebody's in block blah blah blah, and then Karis, which is his name, Karis stole the crystal, protect his sister. I guess he took it to protect her. He really didn't care about the Republic or the Empire. his one dedication was to his sister. So
Yeah. Now, a
yeah,
weird thing in this one, it was, I thought that
yeah,
they
Daryl,
both lose their
yeah,
outfits, their suits.
yeah.
Was there a comment?
Oh yeah, Florida man, you pull up Daryl's comment. I thought this, and because he got to ride an X-wing. What was an X-wing doing in there? That
I,
was I was thinking in that.
I don't know. There's some lore that I'm not sure if it's canon or not, that
They just took some,
there's a
they just took
group of,
liberty too.
well, lots of liberty. Oh, and that is one thing that I will say we should have said right up front. They basically told these studios, here's the Star Wars sandbox, go play in it.
Yeah, they didn't put any stipulations to it.
No, they totally, although we only see some minor characters reprised, like
Yeah,
Boba Fett and Jabba the Hutt.
yeah,
Um, we could have seen Luke and Leia. We could
yeah.
have seen Han Solo. They chose not to make
Which I
any
think
of
was,
those.
yeah,
It chose to make none of the main characters of any of these episodes.
and
And
I'm
I
glad
think
they
that was a good
didn't.
decision.
I think, yeah, I think that was a good call.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
But they both lose their suits, their outfits, and they're able to just breathe in open space, apparently.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
I was just like, whatever.
Whatever, just go with it. I did too. I thought, okay, never mind, just go with it.
Anything else about this episode that struck you as interesting?
I think that was the main thing. I think it's funny how many R2D2 versions there are, variants are throughout this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I
Droids,
mean,
there are so many droids.
yeah, but one that keeps this, each one has, what I can tell so far, not all of them, but the ones that have the droid companions are usually really close to the R2D2 that we know and love. And so,
Yeah,
like in the
that's
duel,
true.
the R2D2, and I forget what he was called, had a straw hat over his head,
Yes.
So
I
yeah,
thought that was hysterical.
yeah.
Um,
So anyway,
hey, Sanjay.
hey Sanjay, uh, Pota Potty, Pota Potty.
I don't know what that means.
Yes, we are. But hello, sir. Welcome to the show.
So then we have the Village Bride.
Yeah, it was an interesting story.
Yeah, interesting story.
Very cultural.
What were your thoughts on this one?
It took a while for me to kind of get a feel what the story was about. To me, I thought most of it had to do with a ritual of two people getting married.
It was probably the slowest of all of the
very
episodes.
slow. It's it does pay homage to the Clone Wars, basically what was left over of the Clone Wars. I think it was basically a Jedi coming out of hiding to help a village, and this is really what it came down to.
Yeah, the notes I had read about it early on said something about a village bride and her decision.
Yeah,
But it was more about the Jedi seeing everything through these outsiders' eyes.
yeah. I
Yeah.
did have it. It was an interesting. Of course, they use the term Magna, Magina, Magina. They
Yeah.
use that as their kind of force in relationship to the Force. But it was interesting conversation with the Jedi, and she had a friend, and I don't know much about him.
I couldn't decide if he was a Jedi as well.
Yeah, at first I was thinking the same thing.
Because later on he uses basically a laser rifle.
But basically, and he made a comment where he was trying to encourage her to help the village, and he made a comment about, I don't care about your code. And apparently, I don't know what code she was following, but anyway, there was a lot of hidden
Prime
things
directive.
like that. I think so. Which
it did kind of feel like that. Like,
yeah,
I'm here, but I'm not going to get involved in these people's lives.
Which is strange. I would love to interview some of these people and say, okay, what do you meant by that?
Yeah.
because there's a lot of these little nuggets like that. I have no clue. And maybe it'll be maybe in the documentaries. I'll get a chance to watch that. So
Maybe a little bit. I didn't actually see the documentary on this particular one. But I will say it did it, like I said, it was kind of slow. It felt
yeah.
a little bit like a filler episode.
Yeah.
We had a really quick battle right at the end. But the world building in all of these has been super impressive. Like
Been
they're
impressed.
able
Yeah.
to suck me into this world. Like this bride, she's which is a little weird because she's getting married, but then
Yeah.
at the same time, her marriage is kind of the culmination of sending her off to people that are oppressing their planet. And then the Jedi swooping in at the
Yeah,
last moment to
exactly.
save her.
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
it was a pretty straightforward story, and like you said, lots of kind of pomp and circumstance, but we don't get a lot of explanation for why they do what they do.
No.
They're at the
Yeah.
beginning, the groom is carrying the bride up the mountain. We don't really understand exactly why,
Yeah.
other than she's not supposed to get her feet dirty. But it was a
Yeah.
nice little story. It
I
was a
thought
nice
so
little
too.
story. I would have
Um,
liked to have heard more about the Jedi
yeah,
and what her real purpose was, why
exactly.
she was there in the first place. But we don't really get much of that.
You don't get that, and honestly, that's throughout all these episodes. Again, but you think about it. If you're having 12 to 15 minutes, uh, you know, I call them shorts because basically
Yeah.
that's what
Oh
they
yeah.
are. It's
Yeah. They're
really
all
hard.
short films.
It's really hard to put everything into that, still having the art style and the story uh, move
Did I
together.
put any of the images up on that one?
I don't know if you did or not. Honestly, I don't. Probably not. No, you did not. No, you did
I
not.
did not, because I'm an epic
No.
fail.
Oh, I wish I had that. But yeah, exactly. The next one I know you said was one of your favorite
This
stories,
is my favorite story,
and
not
I really enjoy.
necessarily my favorite animation style.
I think this is well written. I think as far as a story, like you said, animation. I didn't think. I mean, it was what it was. It
It
wasn't
was good.
terrible. It was good.
Yeah,
It was
it was
middle of the
good.
ground good. But the story, it had me going. I mean,
So the Ninth Jedi,
yeah,
basically the daughter of a lightsaber smith, and the lightsaber smith is captured and taken off, and she has to deliver 7 lightsabers up to the Jedi Temple that is on an asteroid orbiting the planet. And okay, the rocket propelled trebuchets, these things were awesome.
oh yeah.
This was the coolest thing in the
I
world.
I thought that was so cool.
So rocket propelled trebuchets used to mine kyber crystals in the asteroid belt surrounding the planet. That was pretty stinking cool. And
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
then this is where you talked a little bit about this. You alluded to this earlier. The idea here is that he is creating lightsabers, and technically it's illegal. And this is supposed to be post episode 9.
Yeah,
And from the sounds of it, maybe decades, maybe hundreds of years
yeah.
post episode 9.
They're still
So
hunting down
in a
Jedi's.
galaxy,
Yeah,
so
the
instead of
set
in a
is. Yeah,
galaxy far, far away, it was, instead of a long time ago, it was a
yeah.
not quite so long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Close
Uh,
enough.
it's sooner than that.
Exactly.
But Daryl McCarty says a very good episode. But the idea that he made these lightsabers special because they weren't the color of the kyber crystal. They took on the color of the wielder, or and as the wielder matured and aged and got more power, it might look
Yeah,
different.
exactly.
And that was kind of an interesting idea. And did you notice that when the sabersmith lights his saber, go back to
Yeah,
the
it was
previous
good.
picture.
Yeah,
When he lights his saber, it's blue,
yeah, exactly. Which is
which means he's pretty well, he's got some force ability, because when she picks up her lightsaber and it's clear.
Yeah, translucent. Yeah, exactly.
When I first saw it, I thought, this is it black, but it's supposed to be clear, no color at all.
Yeah.
Although throughout the episode, her lightsaber begins to get color.
I kind of like that. I mean, I don't
I
think
did too.
that's not canon, but I think I really like that story. It'd be cool if it was canon.
Well, and it plays into that idea that Sith only hold red lightsabers.
Yeah.
Because this is the show. You and I talked a little bit before the show about this one. We've got this character called the Margrave, and he's called all these Jedi in, and you think initially you go, "Oh, this is totally a Sith trap."
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it is a Sith trap, but it's the other way around.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
once they all receive their lightsabers from the young girl, they all ignite them, and most of them are Sith. There's only one of them that's actually a Jedi, and the little girl and the Margrave, who is actually a Jedi. And we get a really, really cool fight scene here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I thought it was interesting. One of the Jedis actually turned back to the light, and his saber turned from red to, I believe it was green.
Is
And
it red or green or purple? I thought it was purple.
I think it was purple,
kind of violet.
But it's like, we actually had that for Anakin. We could find out whether he was turning evil or not.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, yeah, so yeah, it's almost like a mood ring for Jedis.
Yes. I did think it was interesting at the very end. She's walking out, and there's like 4 of them.
Yeah.
And they're going to go hunt for her father.
Yeah.
And but the Margrave asks her, "Will you come with us and become the Ninth Jedi?"
Yeah.
We don't actually see 9 of them.
Yeah, I was counting them through, and I didn't find. Yeah, exactly. I was trying to figure out where the count came from. Yeah.
Yeah. At first, I was thinking, well, okay, there were 7 that showed up. Then there was her, and then there's her father. That's 9. But that's not who we were talking about.
No.
So there's like the 4 that are there, and then we have then a ship shows up to take them away. Presumably the other Jedis are on this ship.
Yeah.
And they fly off into space to go journey to find her father and save him. So this is definitely one of those stories that I would love to see a follow-up for.
I would too. I would
love to see a follow-up. I want to see her grow up. I want to see her become powerful, and I want to see her save her father.
It's almost like reminds you of kind of a Rey, a
little bit.
Yeah, more like Rey. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, I wonder if they could. It'd be cool if Disney somehow could figure out, okay, this had a lot of feedback on this one. Why don't we try to do something with it? Give it to the studio.
And because it is so far after episode 9,
yeah,
you could make it canon if you wanted to.
Yeah,
if you wanted to.
I think it would be. I like it.
I like it. It's my favorite story of all of them.
Yeah, same here.
Well, let's go to the one that we both agree is not our favorite.
No, that's right.
Because and we've got a lot to go through still. So we'll blow through a couple of these.
I'll blow through a couple of these. Astro Boy.
TOB1.
Astro Boy. Yes.
Astro Boy or Pinocchio in space.
Yes. Wasn't a big fan. It had a real... well, throughout the whole thing, it had like this retro 32-bit gaming style music in the background kind of thing.
Yes, it did. The music was a little annoying to me.
Yeah.
And the art style was definitely Astro Boy, early animation kind of style. It's definitely a Pinocchio. I'm a real boy.
That's right.
Kind of story where a robot yearns to become a Jedi. Did you notice? I didn't realize this.
What's that?
At first, I guess I just wasn't paying close enough attention. About halfway through the episode, the old man hides TOB1 behind some stones. Okay.
Yeah.
But he uses the Force to move the stones around because he doesn't have any arms.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Daryl says he loved the animation. Daryl, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this was not my favorite animation. The style was great for what it was. It's just not what I was looking for. So what did you think about the fact that eventually a little robot finds his heart of Kyber and he does in fact become a Jedi?
I thought it was very strange, very weird. And but again, if we're honest, each of these episodes really hit a different type of real Japanese animation.
Oh
And
yeah,
this one does
absolutely.
too. And
Yeah.
um so this is, you know, for many anime fans, this will resonate with them.
Yep.
I mean, like I said, it was okay. I'm again had kind of this whole Sonic the Hedgehog animation kind of look, you know, puffy clouds and stuff like that. I don't know. It's basically a Pinocchio wanting to become a real boy Jedi,
Yep.
and I don't know. I didn't get really into it. I didn't think it was terrible, but it was not one of my favorites. Actually,
I'm with you on that.
it probably was my least favorite, and that's not bad. I'm just saying, for me, it was my least favorite of the 9.
I'm with you on that. So then we have The Elder,
Oh, that was so good.
where we see a traditional Jedi and Padawan. And I believe this one is supposed to be set prior to episode 1.
Yes, because apparently, from my understanding, that there were no longer any Sith. The Sith were basically
They thought
killed,
they had destroyed all the
destroy
Sith
them. Yeah,
because in episode 1 they thought there were no longer
yeah,
Sith.
exactly.
So we have
But
a wandering Jedi and his Padawan. It's a pretty straightforward story.
yeah, I think out of all the ones, this is probably the closest one that resonate to those of us who are used to the normal Star Wars storyline. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Jedi and Padawan.
yeah,
They find out there's a bad Sith on the loose. They
yeah,
go fight the Sith. Movie over.
yeah.
That is the entire story.
Yeah, I mean, the Master Jedi reminded me of Qui-Gon Jinn, kind of in a way.
Daryl says a very cocky Padawan.
Padawan got in
Okay,
trouble.
let's be honest. How many Padawans have we seen that were not cocky?
That's true.
Every Padawan we see is cocky.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan was cocky. Qui-Gon Jinn reeled him in.
Yeah.
Anakin was cocky. Obi-Wan tried to reel him in.
And cut him in half.
Yeah, cut him in.
That was
well, there's that.
Yeah.
So then we have The Elder, the show, the show was named for is a Sith. And this was kind of a cool anime style.
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think about the hilts on his sabers and the fact that his sabers are curved?
I think that was so cool. I mean, a lot of throughout they took the lightsaber and kind of gave it that Japanese samurai almost sword kind of look.
Yes.
I really loved that. You know, I mean, they're sabers, which is the name of, you know, when you think of sabers, that's what you think of samurai sabers. And I really like the art style, especially it seemed like when it got to that part of that episode, the art style kind of changed a little bit, grayscale with the bright, contrasting. I really liked it. And I thought it was interesting because, the lesson was kind of like the master gradually, the master the master Jedi did kill the elder. Bottom line.
I was going to say, this is where I think it differs considerably from what we have seen traditionally in Star Wars. Traditionally in Star Wars, we see the master fail or give up, and then the Padawan step up and save the day. And in this instance, we have the Padawan get into a battle and fail, and the master come to save the day.
Exactly. What's interesting, they said apparently this elder Sith, I guess, broke off from the Sith Order a long time ago, and that was the reason he was still around.
Okay.
And so that was, I read that, that's what I kind of picked up on. But I guess the Padawan was, talking about how his master, how great he was, defeating the Sith. And he said, the only reason I said, if he was the same age as I was, if he was younger, there would have been a different story.
Yeah.
And he told his Padawan, the lesson is the master gradually weakens and the Padawan becomes gradually stronger. And, and he gave him a lesson about, the dangers of impulsiveness and merits of patience and the kindness and wisdom, which is all kinds of kind of a Japanese type of message in a lot of their stories. So basically, the young becoming stronger and the weak, becoming eventually gone. The elder. So I liked it. I like the art style. So
yeah, I like the art style. It was a real straightforward story.
Yeah, I mean, it was the closest thing to the Star Wars trope that we're used to.
Yep, definitely. And then we have Lop and Ocho, which I thought was going to be funny and weird.
No, it's very yeah.
Because the first like 2 or 3 minutes of this show,
Her voice.
I mean, there's a little bit of darkness in that, Lop is a, anthropomorphic rabbit who is enslaved. So there's a little bit of darkness, but we have Ocho, the daughter, who is super giddy and playful and bouncy. And I thought we were going to have one of these ridiculous anime, goofy, weird things.
No, it did not go that direction, did it?
It did not go that direction, because we quickly find out the father is in charge of a space Yakuza family, basically the space mafia, who are not quite sure about their imperial overlords.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
It's a story about two sisters, I mean, they're not biologically sisters, and they're
This is once again that found family
idea.
idea.
Found family, yeah. And and so not biological, they fall in love as a family, but then all suddenly they're being pulled in the opposite direction, and it's all a decision over who I'm going to serve, the empire, or I'm going to serve my what I believe is the freedom of my planet. And so,
which is kind of interesting in this one. We see the daughter, the elder daughter, the biological daughter, siding with the empire.
Yeah.
And the father being the one that's we need to fight off these oppressors.
Exactly.
And Lop, the adopted daughter, caught in between.
Exactly. The only thing she wants is everyone to be a family again.
Yep.
Be a family again and go home.
Which, along with that found family trope, we have the father eventually turning to Lop and basically bestowing on her the future of the family and the family sword, which happens to be a lightsaber.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we get a super epic battle between Rabbit sister,
yes,
and a human daughter. It really was a great battle,
really fight. Was, and it really set it up for another episode, if there was another episode.
Oh, absolutely. This is another one I would like to hear more about. Now, are you familiar with Jackson?
Yes.
When I say Jackson, a 6 foot tall green rabbit Jedi.
Yes,
Marvel Star Wars comics.
Yes, exactly.
So I was really afraid we were going to have something weird like that.
Yeah,
but I thought they did a great job. And a lot of people were really kind of scared about this episode because of the rabbit.
I was too. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing when I saw the trailer and I saw they were cutting them up, all the episodes and kind of doing a trailer, and I saw that part and I'm thinking, oh, okay, that's going to be some silly little campy, anime. But actually, I was surprised how deep the story was. Yeah, and it drew you in. So it was really good.
Now,
really
this
good.
Last one, I think is the one you said is this isn't your favorite, but you really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I really, we were talking about, I know we were talking about how, why do we have to end it on this episode?
Yes. So
Yeah.
Akakiri, and Akakiri means red mist. That's the translation. So we have this story, and this is very close to the
Yeah,
the Kurosawa film Hidden Fortress. So we
exactly.
have a princess and a samurai, in this case a Jedi, going on a trip to take her back to the palace, and things go awry.
Yeah.
And we have a couple of cut up weird sidekicks,
Yeah,
which that's
exactly.
kind of the trope of Hidden Fortress. But the storyline goes a little sideways,
Yeah.
later on.
Kind of
And
reminds
my
me
take,
of, yeah, kind of reminds me, it kind of reminds me of a Padme Anakin story in a way, uh,
yes,
just how it ends up.
yeah, we have a big duel.
Yeah.
We have, I don't have a photo of the healing. We do get force healing. So if you're a big
Yeah, on
fan of
this
force
one, yeah.
healing, we got force healing in this one.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I my big thing was this ends on such a downer. I
It really
was a
does.
little disappointed.
Yeah, I think really what it comes down to, and I think it's a real sense of, I was talking with somebody, and it's a real sense of a Japanese culture. It's their media, the transitionalism,
Mhm.
how it merged. It's this cynical underlying story of, things go bad for good,
Yeah.
and
Well,
is
and
this
in this instance, we see it's basically the story of a Jedi devolving. It really is
yeah,
Anakin's
yeah.
story in episode 3.
And the whole idea was to save the one he loves. And he thought if he could, and he was convinced by, I think, let's see here, it's Misa, not Misa, but
Misa is the princess.
Mazago. Mazago is the kind of the Sith Lord.
Yeah,
And and
she's the sister of Misa, right?
exactly.
Okay.
She is the sister. And so basically to bring Misa back to life, um, to Shabaki, I
Yeah, I
believe
believe
his
that's
name,
right.
Shabaki, uh, he had to agree to come to the dark side, and between the two of them, they brought her back to life.
Yeah, and this
And
is where we see color used a
yeah,
lot.
yeah,
We keep seeing flashbacks, and gradually things get redder and redder around the Jedi until we see him eventually. We see her saved, and then him
yeah,
eventually walking into the palace to
yeah.
become the uh, the the apprentice of the Sith Lord, and
Yes,
the whole
master.
screen
Yeah.
is red. And we see him, he pulls up his cloak, and that's the end of the story.
Which, yeah, it is down. And also throughout it, he's fighting. This vision keeps messing with his powers, and it's the same vision over and over of him
Yeah,
killing this looks like a guard, or
yeah,
almost like an emperor guard with a red helmet on. Kind of reminds you of the whole, the emperor's uh, palace guards.
right.
And he kills this one. And of course, later on, the death of Misa was from his hands, because she was basically muffled inside one of those masks.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, it's not one I would like to end it on.
yeah.
Uh,
I would say, if I was doing it, this is just my preference because I
yeah,
like happy endings,
yes, you
or at
do.
least hopeful endings.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be a happy ending, but I like a hopeful ending. So in this instance, I would have switched the Ninth Jedi and this episode. I would have ended on the Ninth Jedi. Even though she lost her father, she finds a new family, and there is still hope that she will find her father eventually.
and that's
That,
really the essence of a Star Wars story, right there. I mean, that's
that
the
there's
essence
always
of it.
hope.
Yeah,
Yes. And that's why I feel like ending here feels like there should be more.
Yeah, I
because we
agree.
did not
Yeah.
end on hope. We
No.
ended on despair.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's my personal preference. You could disagree with me, and I'm sure most of the critics will go, this was the best episode because it had such a dark ending and because they had no hope in the end. And that's just not the guy I am. Sorry.
Well, that's not really Star Wars, is it? I
I
mean,
don't
that's
think
not in
so.
the sense.
I
And
mean,
like,
even in episode 3, as dark as it got at the end,
yeah,
we see the two children as we see the twins as
yeah,
the hope for the future that they have to hide away.
yeah. Well, like
You
an
know,
Empire, yeah, like an Empire Strikes Back. Even though Han has been taken away and the rebels been spanked by the Empire.
yeah,
You sense of hope that we're gonna go get Han.
yes,
We will overcome what has
we'll
happened.
see you on Tatooine.
Yeah,
We'll
exactly.
see you at the rendezvous point.
That's
There's
right.
still hope. We're going to have something else happen.
Exactly.
And so anyway, that's my
You just at the ending. You just wanted a bunch of Ewoks singing and
no.
celebrating. No, you didn't want that.
Well, only if they sing Yub Nub,
Nub
the
nub.
first
Yeah,
the
not
original
yeah.
song.
The original nub nub. Yes,
Yeah, not
I
the
agree.
not the
Not
new
the
song.
newer version. Yes, where young Anakin appears, even though everyone else is old in the Force vision,
Oh
and
my
he's
gosh.
young instead of actually
So
being the age of Vader. That would have looked like
I
the
was
anyway. That
Hayden
was
Christensen. Yeah, there's so many things there that I disagree with, but
I can't
whatever.
believe. Yeah. Anyway,
What so
that's
overall,
yeah.
what is your take on Star Wars Visions? If you were to give it a 1 to 10 rating, what would you say?
I would give it an 8. I give it about an 8. I mean, I thought it was really good. It's different. I mean, to me, I think an 8 is really, I give it an 8, and it's a respectful 8. I like the art
I
style, the different stories. I would give it a higher score if it was specific individuals.
Daryl
Daryl
McCarty says
McCarty
he
gives
give
it
it a 9.
9. Yeah,
See,
I would.
I'm kind of split the difference. I would agree with you. I give it an 8. I think if the order was a little bit different and we ended
Yeah,
on hope, I think I would give it slightly higher, maybe an 8.5. I don't know if I go for a 9.
yeah,
There's just a couple episodes that I didn't connect as much with,
yeah. I didn't
but
resonate. Yeah,
I definitely resonated with all of the family tropes that
yeah.
happened throughout the episodes. So I
I did
really
too.
I really liked that.
I did too. Man, it was really good. I enjoyed it.
I
And
was
yeah.
pleasantly surprised because I remember when this originally came out, we were like, I'll probably watch it,
Mm,
but I don't think we'll do a show on it.
yeah, I remember that. We said the same thing about Hawkeye too, didn't we?
Now I want to do an episode for every episode of Hawkeye.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, that's
Now
funny.
I'm going to be disappointed if Hawkeye's not good.
Yeah, we'll change our lineup on that. We'll
Oh my
chain it off.
goodness. Anything else about Star Wars Visions?
No, I think it was I I think it was a big deal for the machine Star Wars, you know, uh industry letting these small Japanese studios to have whatever they want to do with.
Oh my goodness.
I thought that was
So
awesome. How brave. I
super
thought it was how
brave.
brave. Yeah.
I agree. As much as Kathleen crud, I can't think of her last name.
Kennedy.
Kennedy,
Okay.
Kathleen
Yeah.
Kennedy, as much heat as she gets, the fact that she signed off on this and said, "Yeah, just go for it." I'm
Yeah.
I'm super impressed, and the studios definitely knocked it out of the park. They did a great job.
Because that's not
They
normal. That's not a normal thing for a studio
no,
with a high profile franchise would do.
they
So
definitely understood Star Wars,
yeah.
and they allowed their culture to definitely come through,
Yeah.
to shine through Star Wars.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
I think it shows that Star Wars is more universal than a lot of people like to think about.
And yeah, and soon I'm gonna go ahead and go back and watch those documentaries. I know tonight we've talked a lot about it. There are some spoilers in it, but honestly, it's worth watching.
Oh yeah,
Just
absolutely.
if you're a Star Wars fan or an anime fan, I think you would enjoy it. I think there's a kind of a buffet of different type of animation art styles and stories.
The best thing is they're about 15 minutes long. If you don't
Yeah,
like this one, skip to the next one. You might
yeah.
like it.
And so, I think even though the things that we've said that may some people say, well, you give away the story. I think if you watch it, you'll there's a lot there with that we haven't given out,
Oh, absolutely.
and I
And
think you'll
some
yeah
fascinating Easter eggs that I think were I did like this about the episodes. There were tons of Easter eggs, but most of them weren't hidden. They were
yeah
right in plain sight
yeah
and they were part of the story. They
yeah
just fit. It wasn't like we did some weird little thing and hid it in the background. Now
yeah
there is some of that, but
yeah
there was a lot of well, and did we talk about this during the episode or during pre-show that I'm pretty sure every single episode had the classic line, "I have a bad feeling about
yes
this."
exactly yeah exactly yeah I can't
Everyone,
yeah
lightsabers were definitely a huge part of this series. There was only one episode where it wasn't really used,
Kyber
and
crystal Kyber
kyber crystals,
Kyber crystals was a big deal.
and we see some classic Star Wars spaceships, tons of droids. It's really cool.
Yeah, I
There's so
really
much
enjoyed
Star
it.
Wars.
I would actually sit down. I would watch some of the episodes again.
I
Not
would
all
too.
of them, but I would. Some of the episodes I would definitely watch again, whether
Yep.
for the visual effects and some for the storyline. So yeah, definitely a watch for me. Again, it's an 8. I think I'm kind of like Ricky. If things were in a different order, I may have gone a little bit higher. But like I said, it's it's it, it's no disrespect. The 8 is a solid 8, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's a solid 8. So definitely would watch it again. But yeah, man, this is exactly it's funny how we talk about how we're not going to do a show on something and then we end up doing it. So
And then we end up loving it.
and then I have to watch it, I have to watch 2 hours in one night because I didn't think we were going to do a show on it. But it was worth it, and it
It was
was
worth
really
it.
good. So
All right. Well, I think it's
anything
probably
else?
time for us to wrap it up.
I think you're right. I think we made it past our 45-minute deadline.
Yeah. Make sure you like, subscribe,
Yes,
click all those buttons
please.
down there.
Click it.
And if you're not watching us on Facebook, go check us out on Facebook, Speaking Nerdy. And you can find all of our social links at speakingnerdy.com.
That's right.
That it?
That's it, man. I'm done.
This has been the Speaking Nerdy podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And my friend and compadre, Mr. Ricky Poe. Man, we used the
Why
force
do we
tonight,
have to
didn't
have?
we?
I don't know, but I just want to know why we have to have what? Hey, Casey, in the summer of '77, I was 15 years old in Star Wars and saw Star Wars 38 times. Casey, that is awesome.
Man, thank you for showing up. Yeah.
Old. I wasn't quite that old.
Yeah.
77, I was 6, but I did see it the first time around.
Was that a T on the end of it? 6.
What?
T?
I was 6.
Oh,
I was
6.
6. I just 6.
All right. Not
I'm not
6
that old.
T. I would not want to say I was trying to make sure we had to check on that.
You
Are we done?
Stop it.